Come. I found over 1,700 times in the Word of God where this word is used, come. And that's not coming, the rest of the comes, but that's just come. Preaching my heart out for 45 minutes to an hour on that one word, come. And it was one of our Lord's favorite words. Come unto me, come and drink, come and dine. Jesus said, come, come. And it goes on and 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 on. Universal in its application. Come. What did Jesus say to his disciples? Come. There's no room for discussion, friend. Guess what? Come. Come. It commands obedience. Come. How many of you had the Holy Ghost come in you? He was crucified for you. He died for you. He did everything for you. It's time for you to... Oh! On that one word, come. And it was one of our Lord's favorite words. Come unto me. Come and drink. Come and dine. Jesus said, come. And it
YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion, you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Viva Bojack, 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 Viva Bojack. That's what I'm talking about. First time singing the songs for Viva Bojack. Shout out. I don't know what I'm doing really, but I got passion. That's what it's about. It's all about passion. Where she streams, all that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion, you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Viva Bojack, 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 Viva Bojack.
Hello, everybody. How we doing? There we go. Get this can of compressed air out of here. Hello, everyone. Yes, may she reign righteous, all hail Jack, indeed. Recognize your queen. How are you, though? I'm doing all right. This is my third monster of the day, and I'm hoping it doesn't make me into a jittering mess. Delicious. Hello, CR. Hello, Van Briggs. Hello, Thorin Galahad. There we go. Hello, Danger Days. Hello, Erica. Hello, ACAB includes Tone Police. Haven't seen you in a hot minute, by the way. Hope you're doing all right. Hello, Benjamin Kessler. Hello, Eddie Spencer. Hello, Failsafe. Hello, Vignesh Koalapan. Hello, Comrade Girl 2018. Hello, Ismail Gunakar. Hello, Earth Creature. Hello, Abyssal Anath. Hello, Twin Tails 100. Hello, Salmon Moose. Hello, Snugan. Hello, Carly. Hello, Marianne. Hello, Metal Kitty Mom. I hope you're getting good rest. I saw you in the offline chat talking about how exhausted you've been. It's bullshit that they put you on so many days in a row on the schedule. Hello, Lady Raincloud. Hello, Horizon. Hello, Temporal Wizard. Hello, Salty Turtle Cupcake. Hello, one and all, folks. I'm on my first CBD drink. The day is still young. I need to be careful bending over in this skirt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Van Briggs always making me work out when I've put on my suit. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Nailed it. Hello, Orvillaby. Hello, Jay. Hello, all-seeing dude. Hello, Elaine Malachite. You're so early. I'm not asleep yet. I know. We're going to be doing our best to raid into Dead Domain when we're done with this, folks. So we're just doing like a little stream to like rally the troops. If we worked out when Jack does, we could all be jacked. Indeed. Whoo! The day is still young. Dead Domain stream has been fun. Hell yeah. And I know I could have just like popped in at any time over there, but I figured I might as well bring a few of you with me, you know? Was yelled, "What's wrong with you people?" by Trump supporters at the protest I was at today. Yeah, what's wrong with all of you people? Why aren't you just taking the slop given to you? Why aren't you abiding the robbery and the defecating on your constitutional rights? Why can't you just listen and respect the King of England, all of you people in the colonies? Why can't you just like what the king has deigned to give you? I mean, he's already taken away one constitutional right. Why not let him take away another? Just take the slop. I didn't think you streamed on weekends. I don't, but I was invited onto a charity stream with Dead Domain, and we're going to do a little stream so that we can all be together and head on over to Dead Domain stream to help them do some charity stuff. Yeah, you should be grateful. The king and his magnanimity. There we go. That was a hard one to say. Stomach flu is anti-fun. Oof, I'm sorry. I got to wear a bright vest, have a walkie-talkie, and be all security and stuff. Flex, hell yeah. Did anyone give you guys trouble? I know there were some speculation that there would be increased police presence. Was that the case? For those of you who got out there today? Been getting lots of rest and taking it easy. Once I started crying at work, I knew I needed a break. Yeah, absolutely. Saw a lot of protesters in my hometown. Love to see it. Hell yeah. Yes, but it wasn't too bad. Good. So, I do want to say, like, we touched on it a little bit yesterday, but we really do need to talk about this Supreme Court order. It's insane. It's insane. You've been making birds? That's cool. Some people are too far gone. Yeah, it's true. It's crazy to me the Supreme Court keeps dropping 9-0 decisions. Was there another one? Closest we had to any police presence was mall security making us move. Wild, that came out late last night? Yeah. Yeah, it did. Is it the Abrego order to bring him back? That was the 1-9-0 decision I'm aware of. Beep boop. Didn't they say no more Alien Enemies Act? Man, that'd be cool if that was the case, but no, they did not say that. Your feet are blistering? Ooh, get them in some ice water if you can. Although that's also extraordinarily unpleasant. For every time I redeem the Get Jacked redeem, I will do 2 sets of 10 curls at 10 pounds. Hell yeah, Van Briggs. That's what I love to see. You think they will hold them in contempt, or is that just us coping? Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Ask that question again when we get to our little segment here. Got a couple of things to chat about. Number one, this isn't really a segment. I just wanted to share it with you. Because, folks, did you know that you could opt out of TSA facial recognition technology? Because I sure as fuck didn't. And, what better way to learn about it than in song?
Opt out of facial recognition. Opt out of facial recognition. Opt out of facial recognition. It's easy when you're off to visit family and the folks at TSA are like, come stand right over here and look right at this camera. Say, I'd like to opt out. Here's my physical ID. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day. Opt out of facial recognition. Opt out of facial recognition. Opt out of facial recognition while you still can.
I think that's lovely. I did not know you could do that. Hello, Paladin Lost. Hello, Gamergy. Hello, Liz Galahad. Hello, Horizon. Hello, Quite Kitsune. Yeah, didn't know I didn't know you could opt out. That's great. Hey yo, Xenogrels. Hello, sorry you're blue. Also, does my audio sound like a little bit better today? I fiddled with the settings, so it shouldn't quite be as crunchy. Does it sound a little bit more warm, I guess? I turned on a limiter setting. I thought it would improve my audio. Sounds really good? Nice. Cool. All right. Sounds the same to me, but I'm using Bluetooth. That's fair. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs.
Went to the NYC protest and even got interviewed.
You got interviewed by whom? And thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs and for being the first person today to support the show. We'll talk about it, Ethriel. Your favorite color is indigo? Hell yeah. Also, I just got a rep. I'm wearing the Imogene Olivia bralette, our very first style. I'm real excited. Gotta rep it while I have the opportunity. Oh, you were interviewed by Status Coup. Nice. You know, I'm not like the biggest fan of like Jordan Cheriton, but like some of the work that's been coming out of there is pretty good. Like, I'm not a fan of him as a person, but like the work has been decent. Hello, Josh. Oh, I should turn on YouTube to live chat so I can see all of your shining faces. They were the only news org covering the protest, as far as I could tell. That's insane. That's, you know, like, I saw that there was like a reporter from NPR who was talking about how, like, well, you know, unless there's something to talk about, like big numbers or anything like that, like, I don't, there's not really a point. Like, and that just seems so bizarre to me. And I guess it's an indicator that like people need to like, I think people need to directly go to the press and be like, we are going to be here. Like, you should come. We're going to be talking about the issues, you know? Like big numbers, I'm pretty sure the numbers are big. Yeah, but like, I think a lot of these news people look at the individual protests rather than the movement at large. And when you like slice it up like that, some folks might not think that turnout is large enough in their like local news, or like they just, you know, they'll report about it later, after the fact. Yeah. Yo, Sake Tanuki, thank you for the additional 5 tier 1 subs. Wait, what is this?
This is the national programme of the BBC. There is no news tonight, so until 9 o'clock, here is some music on record.
Hello there. It is very well known that on one day in 1930, a BBC radio announcer proclaimed there is no news, with piano music played to fill the gap. This is often read as the BBC deciding no news was worth broadcasting that evening, which, in our age of instant reports and reaction to the merest flinch of an event, sounds either completely authoritarian or completely hilarious. However, the very specific set of circumstances that led to this decision would never be repeated, as our appetite for information was already increasing. The day was Good Friday, 18th of April 1930. Usually the BBC's national programme would broadcast after the mid-morning daily service and shipping forecast a continuous diet of concerts and talks from noon till midnight, with 2 news bulletins at 6:15 and 9 o'clock. Regional services dipped in and out of the national feed.
Also, this is a good video so far, and the folks should go check it out. And drop a subscribe on this channel. There's only 100 subscribers here. Go show them some love, okay?
Rereading the second news at 10:15. However, Easter meant Good Friday's main programme started at 3:30, with a military band, string orchestra, sports results, church service, and an evening concert of Wagner's Parsifal, conducted by Sir Henry Wood, who began the proms. Regional services had their own concerts, but all had an interval at 8:45 for the single news bulletin of the day. All services closed down for the night by 10:15. When regular radio broadcasts began in 1922, news bulletins on the BBC were only broadcast after 7 p.m. to protect the newspaper industry. By 1930, the embargo had moved forward to 6 o'clock, but as before, the BBC was required to take its stories, unedited, from newspapers and their wire services, for which their paper tape machines had only just been installed. The BBC also had to broadcast numerous government announcements, even down...
I'm sorry. What the fuck is this ad? The children's best friend. Everyone wants to be best friends with their doctor, who's also a giant carrot man.
Down to the banality of Post Early for Christmas, eventually forming their own section of each bulletin. However, on this Good Friday, the system was nowhere to be found. The Chittagong uprising in what is now Bangladesh had just started, but news would not reach the UK in time. Even then, newspapers in the UK did not routinely publish on Good Friday until 1987, and their wire services were not running either. The BBC were expecting a denial to come from the Home Office over the reporting in a newspaper of an interview with the Home Secretary, because no newspaper would be available to report the denial. Eventually, nothing came, as it was no longer news. With no news available, piano music became the more appropriate interval between the concerts. In 1934, the BBC finally moved news out of its talks department and into its own division. Its reputation as a respected and impartial news provider formed in the heat of the Second World War. In contrast...
I'm sorry, I'm still obsessed with the idea of, like, a child going to the doctor with, like, influenza and, like, the doctor just being like, eat some carrots! And part of the reason I'm obsessed with that is because you can very easily see, like, RFK Jr. trying to make that, like, the actual modus operandi of our medical system. Oh, God, get him the fuck out. Get every single one of these motherfuckers out of office.
Newspaper circulation peaked and has steadily declined since the 1930s.
Hello, Jazz
hastened
Dog.
by the advent of television and online news. Now the cacophony of news stories leads us not to ask if what we are given is newsworthy, but whether it is even true. Far better it be insignificant than absolute rubbish. Thanks for watching. As ever, the nostalgia culture crisis continues at www.dancingwiththegatekeepers.com.
That was a really good video. How does this channel only have 100 subscribers? I'm going to subscribe too. Like, that was good stuff. That was some good shit. He did. He said vitamin A would cure measles. There we go. Yeah. Make Dr. Carrot again. What is the channel name? Lay Spence.
Did someone say strange doctors?
GamerG, thank you for the $5 dono. What is this?
¿Es la influencia una amenaza para mí y mi familia?
What?
¿Cuáles son los síntomas? ¿Cómo hacer para evitarla? Si me enfermo, ¿qué debo hacer para no contagiar a otros? La respuesta a todas estas preguntas y más las tiene Doctor Amigo. Visítanos e infórmate cómo juntos podemos detener esta epidemia.
I have so many questions. I have so many questions because that seemed like an actual ad. That didn't seem like a joke. That seemed like an actual ad that somebody did. Am I wrong? And this is not the channel that has this re-uploaded it. Why is there a video called the Dr. Amigo Iceberg? Why is there like a whole, I'm sorry, why is there like a whole subculture of like Dr. Amigo? I'm sorry, there's a Dr. Amigo YouTube channel? Is this the same Dr. Amigo? Is this a different Dr. Amigo? I'm genuinely baffled.
Have you seen my wife has a perfectly dry P word?
I haven't seen that your wife has a perfectly dry P word. I'm a little...
Goodbye, honey. Have a wonderful day at work. As a doctor at the doctor's office, she's a doctor. Hold on one second. I
I have seen this.
Trying
this
to
is
make
great.
sure about. Let's see. Perfectly dry, as it should be. It's perfectly dry. She does not have a wet.
He does look like Ben Shapiro. It is uncanny.
P word. Let's go. You can't get your wife's P word wet. These trolls. Actually, my wife, who is a doctor, says that it would be a medical problem if it got wet, or it would mean that she tickled her pants. Guess what? My wife is potty trained. Checkmate, liberals. Honey, why is this chicken wet? You know how much I hate wet meat. Well, the only reason their P words would be wet is because of liberal tears, probably. Oh, they have a Bernie bumper sticker, of course. Do you have any idea that Bernie dropped the fuck out of their goddamn race? People who vote for Bernie get so triggered. You're fucking stupid. Oh, you're not supposed to be filming right now, actually. And that was straight facts, and none of them cared about your feelings because facts don't care about your feelings. Sorry, liberal. Where's the main? Oh, there it is. Gosh. Oh, it's hot. It's hot. Honey, did you put black pepper on the chicken again? God damn it. She's probably been watching CNN again. Oh my gosh, bumper to bumper again. I thought Los Angeles was supposed to be progressive. This traffic's certainly not progressing anywhere. Write that one down so I can say it on Joe Rogan's podcast. And you're blocked. Where's my Milky? Go! I'm gonna be late for Joe Rogan's podcast! I have to extinguish it somehow. Wait a minute. Honey, why does the mayo sound like wet P word right now? Oh god, it's Cardi B again on the radio. Cardi B. Her mom should have taken Planny B. It's well known in the medical field, which my wife is a part of, that having a wet-ass P word means you either have trichomoniasis, vaginosis, or yeast infection, or you're simply anti-Semitic. What is this mayonnaise called? The Last Dab? This is hotter than a gefilte fish straight out the jar. That's it, I need some milk. Where's my sister? Somebody's saying they sent nudes of my sister to... Oh no, that's definitely not her breasts. Get out of here! These liberals are literally on their phones all day long. Hold on, somebody's tweeting at me. I gotta clap back. They really changed the name of the street to Barack Obama Boulevard. Barack Hussein Obama. It literally sounds like a Muslim fucking leprechaun or something. Why isn't there a George W. Bush Boulevard? That's what I want to know. I want to understand that. The name of Bomb Boulevard should be changed to Boulevard Broken Dreams, like the Green Day song. And the Green Day song, American Idiot, should be about Barack Obama himself. If he even was American, that is.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, why is it so hot like some kind of Mexicana Latina? Gel, listen, we don't eat the left wing in this house, we only eat the right wing. Checkmate, liberals. Cock is actually the traditional word for chicken, and yes, I do like eating lots of it. So Wikipedia, a website that claims it's free for everybody to edit, will no longer let me edit my height on my own bio. It's my bio, I should be able to decide.
How is this still going?
Yeah, actually, no, can you vacuum as well? And then can you clean on top of the cupboards? I can't reach up there. Oh yeah, there's some chores in this house. There's some chores in this house. Exactly, no, it's like the Cardi B song. She says whores in this house. There's chores in this house, yeah. This is the university. What?
Yeah, it looks pretty closed.
Well, how am I supposed to do my talk on how facts don't care about your feelings? They locked the gates even. That hurts my feelings, and that's a fact. Look, I don't even care about USC. I don't need to do a speech there. Their mascot is the Trojans, for God's sakes. And I hate contraception. I'm Orthodox, so I don't like condoms. Look it up. Nutritional fact is basically just another type of regulation that liberals have forced upon us. For instance, it's all lies anyway. 59 servings. It does not last 59 meals. Let's Google BBC so we can learn about liberal news, and go. And this is just disgusting. If you Google BBC, don't hit the videos tab, whatever you do. I need to check some of these out. Get out. Get out. My wife has a perfectly dry P word. You saw me check when she got out of the car.
Yeah, no, I saw that. It's 100% dry for sure.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, if you look closely at the nutritional facts in this, actually there's 0 trans fats. That's right, checkmate, liberals. If only we could make the country have 0 trans fats.
Next election. They are the ones that can change things dramatically if they show up and vote. November 3rd is our time.
They told them the date?
Let's be heard. Vote for real change.
What's poppin' LA? It's your girl Cardi B.
No! No!
Oh, God.
Been happy Medicare for a long time. And
the wet-ass P-word ladies on the radio right now!
3LA.com.
Keyword change LA.
That was a 10 out of 10 video. You all go subscribe. Go do it. There you go. Ismail Gunakar, you're irritating me, so I'm putting you in timeout for 5 minutes. Chill the fuck out. I feel targeted about that videos tab. Damn. I need some milk. Where's my sister is really some diabolical shit. It really is. That was so good. They also did one of the Elon salute, apparently. Sir Spence is the channel name. CER space Spence. All right. I hate the mayonnaise boiled chicken so much. Is that a thing? Wait, I'm sorry. Do people put mayonnaise on boiled chicken? Why would you do that? First of all, why would you boil chicken? There's so many better ways of making chicken. But if you're going to do that, why would you then put mayonnaise on it? Also, hello, Boy Meets Minnie. Hope you're doing well. It's just to make fun of how white he is. He is very white. Adds a bit of spice. Boiled chicken is okay if it's for chicken and dumplings, but I you know, like, again, they're just better ways. Like, just if you're gonna boil it, why not just like bake the chicken? Why not, like, I don't know, like pan sear the chicken? Just whatever. Hello, Brianna Arabia. Did I see the new Amon animations? I have not, but we're not going to watch that on the show. Do you mean broiled chicken? No. Yeah, I mean, like, you can make, but like, chicken and dumplings is fine. But like, if you're gonna make the chicken for the like with the dumplings, like, make it in a better way. I don't know. You boil it for the chicken water. I guess my general stance on that is use the chicken bones for the water. Like, I'm whatever. The sludge at the top is the best part. God, what? All right. The superior way to make chicken is nuggies. You mean broth? Chicken water? Look, I can only speak for what chat is saying to me. Cooking is one of Jack's biggest derails. Yeah, because I have strong feelings about it.
But Jack, white foods matter.
I don't know how to react to that. Thank you for the $5 dono. Like, the only time I want to boil chicken is like when I have like a rotisserie chicken carcass or something that I want to turn into like a homemade like chicken stock or something, you know? You've heard that some people drink chicken broth as a beverage. I've heard that some people drink like beef stock as a beverage because of the collagen and such. I've never heard of people drinking chicken broth just straight up. That sounds weird as hell. Hammock, thank you for subscribing over on Twitch. ACAB includes Tone Police. Thank you for being a member over on YouTube. Appreciate you. Yeah, the bone broth. Yeah. Man, y'all are writing chicken brother right and left in like every single chat, and it's really sending me in a weird direction. I don't know how to respond to it. Chicken brothers. Whomst among us hasn't enjoyed a good chicken brother, you know? God, I'm gonna have to watch the Minecraft movie to understand this. All these chicken jockey references, aren't I? The Pope sent his deputy to lecture JD Vance on compassion because the Pope didn't want to talk to JD Vance. Fuck, man. Imagine being a Catholic and the like voice of God on earth is just too embarrassed to speak with you. You know, like that's like one of the biggest failures you could ever have in life. Like, if you're like a true dyed-in-the-wool like Catholic and you have an opportunity to meet with the Pope and the Pope says, "Nah, I'm good." Like, you've literally been bitch slapped by God, you know? It's a zombie riding a chicken, that's the joke, but that's just a thing in Minecraft. It's not a joke, it's just a reference. Yeah, whatever. I'm sure I'll see the movie eventually. JD Vance is a late Catholic convert. Yeah, but like still. All right, let's talk about a little bit of politics, huh? As a treat. Let's do it. Oof. There we go.
I'm not built to suck your dick.
Sorry, wrong button. Do you think he actually believes? I don't know, and I don't care. Either way, he uses his presumed belief to further his nasty political ends. I don't care about the veracity of it. Hello, Real Rad Hum. Hope you're having a real rad day. Now, folks, let's go. After this donation from Saki Tanuki. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs.
I just want to find out how Usha saw that absolute klutz of a donut face and said, I need that man's asterisk in me stat.
Are we sure that that's how it happened, though? Are we sure that that's how that happened? Like, I don't know. JD Vance strikes me as the kind of freak who would not be into having sex with women, but is still, like, nominally straight, and who, like, turkey basters it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I feel like you guys know what I mean. I don't want to elaborate more. Yeah, he's only into penetrating one thing, and it's couches. Yeah, my husband's not gay. He only fucks couches. And however you interpret gay, fucking a couch isn't gay. It's also not straight. It's whatever that is. He's into couches and then ace otherwise. The only thing he's ace for is ace hardware to fix up his couches. He's a homosexual, indeed, pastry death. Jesus Christ. A sofa sexual. Oh, God. Oh, God. Can the couch consent? In Elon Musk's America, whether or not couches can consent will be given top priority. It's called the living room because you haven't fucked a couch. If you haven't fucked a couch, you haven't lived. Damn, dude. He's soft. He's sophic. Yeah. God, fuck. You guys are funny. All right. Let's talk a little bit about this, okay, folks? So, folks, last night at approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, the Supreme Court of the United States put out an emergency, statement or position. Oh, no.
Between Vance and Trump's beautiful desks, do we finally have a furniture-philic presidency?
God, I hope not. There's some historical desks in the in the White House. Oh no. The poor Resolute desk. While fucking another couch, JD Vance is sucked into another world and forced to fight monsters. God damn. Okay, I'm starting this over. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs though, Saki Tanuki. So folks, late last night at approximately 1 a.m., the Supreme Court issued a unusual decision. It was issued, again, in the middle of the night, and it was done largely without an issue having been brought directly to the Supreme Court. What was being considered was in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and the Supreme Court decided to step down from their lofty peak and intrude on the Fifth Circuit's dealings, because the appeal went to both the Supreme Court and the Fifth Circuit on an emergency motion. And essentially, what they were weighing in on was whether or not Texas could deport around 200 more detainees to the El Salvador concentration camp, CCOT. And essentially, they said, no, the government needs to stop any and all preparation to deport this group of people. And the wording around it is a bit vague, and some people thought this means no one can be deported under the Alien Enemies Act. That's not what the Supreme Court said. They intervened very specifically because it was thought that these 200 people were imminently going to be deported by some legal fuckery from the Trump administration. And so basically the Supreme Court stepped in and said in a 7-2 ruling, presumably, we don't have the exact voting of people on the court on this one. But the majority of the court stepped in and said, you shall not deport any of these people in these, presumably protected groups. And so it's interesting to say the least. And I have to tell you guys, over and over again, my big question has been, where is the Supreme Court going to land on these issues? And the reality is, we still don't really know, but it's becoming increasingly apparent, especially after the Supreme Court intervened last night, that the Supreme Court is tired of this shit. They've been getting jerked around. The entire court system has been getting jerked around. The Trump administration continues to put out propaganda in direct defiance of the Supreme Court. And it is very interesting to see a majority conservative Supreme Court still be galvanized into action. You know, one of the court rulings from last week that we read only a brief snippet of came from a Reagan-appointed judge who's been a lifelong conservative. And he basically pleaded with the Supreme Court and, the Trump administration directly, but the Supreme Court in tandem, just as like an aside, that what is happening is basically the death of any presumed goodwill or good intentionality by the federal government. And that is long overdue, but understand that is highly unusual. It takes so much for our court system to drop a presumption of goodwill from another branch of the government. And I think that is coming to an end. Okay? MAGA doesn't get the one rule of the corrupt right-wing court. Don't fuck around with the corrupt right-wing court. They finally wake up and get territorial about their power. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? Like, Justice Roberts is not a good man, but like, he does care about the power of the Supreme Court. And this is what I've kind of been hoping would happen, is that Justice Roberts would, at the very least, be willing to go along with this. And we do not know where the other 7 justices landed. All we know is that Alito and Thomas dissented from the majority opinion in the late ruling last night. Okay? So we do know that because they signed a dissent. The rest of it was unsigned, so we don't know what the internal votes of the court were. Okay. Do you think the Supreme Court will be less likely now than they were a year ago to side in favor of Trump? Yes. The way the Trump administration has handled itself in court and in accordance with court orders is something that is unprecedented. I really do need to emphasize this. Like, the kind of actions that the Trump administration is taking, especially with regards to like spiriting people off of the streets and putting them in foreign concentration camps without a trial, without any kind of due process. This is not how it is done in other countries. And the Trump administration, as part of their propaganda push to manufacture consent for this, has basically been saying, oh, other countries do this all the time. America's been playing with kid gloves. And that is just not the case. Other countries do not do this. Dictatorships do. And one of the issues here is that, and I think it is becoming more apparent as the days go by, but Donald Trump is pushing too far, too fast, and it is not working. Okay? A lot of these people a lot of these folks in the Trump administration assumed that if he got into power, if they got the right people into different places within the federal government, they would effectively control the country. And that is just not the case. And in making that assumption, they have overplayed their hand long before they have any actual power to seize the courts, to impeach the courts, to remove anyone who would stand in their way. They do not have the power to do that, especially now that people are out there mobilizing against them constantly. It is only going to get worse for them. Okay? What about his Schedule F push? I mean, look, there are going to be bumps. There are going to be ways they're going to try and get around this. They're going to be weaselly. But I think that ultimately what's going to happen here is that, like, they might win a few of these battles, but they are not going to win all of them. They are not going to be able to destroy our entire democratic structure before a reckoning is due. At least that is the impression I get. So one of the things we need to talk about here is that this only applied to this particular group of 200 folks. And it's more complicated. I'm gonna need more time to like fully understand the ramifications, but this was a huge thing that the Supreme Court did. Understand that in terms of like Supreme Court actions as messages to the Trump administration, this is a seismic shift. You know? And there is a possibility here, like if we just pause for a moment and look at alternatives and how things could have played out differently. Donald Trump, if he had played a slower game, if he had tried to draw this out for a bit longer, if he had played more by the rules, might have been able to achieve a lot of these same ends that he has. That he has as goals right now, right? He might have been able to achieve them. But he did not follow the legal processes, and that is coming back to bite him hardcore. Hardcore. Okay? So, yeah, pins and needles. I don't know what you're saying here, bud. Let's see, they're already addicted to the flood the zone strategy. Yeah, they're really addicted to it, but also like that strategy only takes you to like so far. If all you have is shit, eventually you get into a courtroom and you flood the courtroom with shit. The judge isn't going to have it. You know? The judge is not going to go along with that. But today we have an update. Trump administration asks SCOTUS to lift its block on the second wave of Alien Enemies Act deportations. Secretary General John Sauer opposes any class-wide relief and asks court to clarify that non-AEA deportations can proceed. So basically, what they're trying to say is, oh, we were not going to deport all of these people under the Alien Enemies Act, just you know, a couple of them, and you know, so we'll let us deport the rest of them under a different grounds via different means to the El Salvador concentration camp. Like, that's also not gonna fly, guys. That's not going to fly. Because if you're saying you were going to deport them under the Alien Enemies Act and now you can't then say, oh, well, but can we deport them under something else, though? When clearly the court has already said no. And in this ruling, which is bizarre as hell, right? Or not ruling, in this, request to the SCOTUS, to begin with, the proclamation applies only to members of Tren de Aragua, but applicants themselves dispute that they are Tren de Aragua members. They cannot adequately represent a class of detainees subject to the proclamation. So basically, they're saying that because people in this group claim to not be Tren de Aragua gang members, the Trump administration should be able to deport the non-gang members to the concentration camp. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. Bizarre as fuck. I wish people weren't being deported, and you know what? They're not getting deported thanks to the Supreme Court ruling. So it's very, very bizarre, and I think that all that this is going to do is piss off the Supreme Court. I think that is all that is happening here. It is making the court more and more angry to have these people keep appealing things that are not generally supposed to be appealable. Most of these appeals, by the way, that are happening are outside of the bounds of normal legal proceedings. Okay? And it is interesting to see this all play out because, these people... Naturally, conservative judges would work with conservative, lawmakers, a conservative administration. Naturally, they would be friends. But the fact that the Trump administration is not content with merely deporting people, but feels the need to send people to a concentration camp is ultimately what is doing them in here and denying people due process as opposed to giving them their constitutional rights. And so, it's turning into enemies what would normally be friends. And it's very interesting to see, I think the Supreme Court was trying to say you need to stop, and they're just barreling ahead unchanged anyway. Yeah, and I do think we are rapidly approaching a time where people are going to start going to prison. Because again, there is no justification for these deportations, for these kidnappings, for this denial of due process that the Supreme Court has already ordered happen. And yeah. So all of that said, this is very good. To anyone who wants to oppose this administration, what is happening right now is great. Because the courts are being, not radicalized, but at the very least awakened to the fact that this administration is actively hostile to them on principle, to the very concept of law. And the fact that they're waking up to that is very good. It might be the case of too little, too late, but better late than never, I guess. The sheer incompetence of it all might very well be our saving grace. Yeah, no, that is the thing. I forget where I heard this, but it's something the only thing that surpasses their cruelty is their incompetence, and that is our saving grace. And when I talk about their incompetence, okay, here is a statement from the White House liaison to the Department of Homeland Security, whose name is Paul Igracia. And he posted this on Twitter. This is just where he lives. Generations of lawyers and judges on both sides of the aisle have been infected with a parasitical ideology that denies reason and common sense, causing irreparable damage to our judicial system. This is why a putatively conservative Supreme Court so often fails to uphold the most basic principles of constitutional governance. Nations require borders in order to preserve national sovereignty, define citizenship, and allocate writes that 7 members, including 3 appointed by President Trump in his last administration, no less, would choose to willfully ignore that most basic precept of national sovereignty demonstrates that the Supreme Court would rather actively participate in America's ruination rather than work alongside the duly elected president to help reestablish the rule of law. This is why the ongoing efforts to hold elite universities, law firms, and law schools accountable by the Trump administration is so vitally important. And I just have to say, like, bold move when your entire, purview is currently in litigation in front of the Supreme Court to put out a statement calling them a bunch of morons who don't understand the law. Do you understand? Like, do you understand how badly that impacts your case? How big of a fucking yourself over this is actively? And guys, we're not even done. There's a second part. Okay? God. The cancer in our judicial system begins with the poison taught by these institutions, which has infected even so-called conservative lawyers and judges with the same anti-constitutional, anti-American, immoral ideologies over decades and decades. Law must be moderated by the virtues, including individual responsibility and wisdom. Its practitioners must have mastery over these virtues in order to properly execute the laws for a free and self-governing people. That imperative was long ago abandoned by our educational institutions. The judges in law courts today, including the majority in the nation's highest court, telegraph with these decisions that they have no understanding of law and its proper function and role. Do you have any idea? Like, I understand this guy's a Nazi. Like, obviously, this guy is a Nazi. But like, dude is literally saying to the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States that you don't understand the law. And yeah, I mean, like, guys, nothing better for our cause could happen than for these people to start personally insulting Chief Justice John Roberts and saying he has no understanding of the law. Understand that, like, the number one thing that motivates John Roberts is decorum, and like people outside of his courtroom telling him that he doesn't understand the law might be one of the things that actually makes the difference in his rulings going forward. President Trump is the first leader who has actually meaningfully attempted to reverse this destructive trajectory, and done so with the gravitas of executive power that will be sure to have a long-lasting impact for years to come. And like, oh man. Doug, White House liaison to the DHS. Fucking up. That tweet was the definition of using big words to sound smart because I'm an idiot. Yeah, I mean, that tweet is that, but also it's to hide the fascism. And like, obviously it's not subtle in there, but like, fascists like to use larger words in some cases to try and obfuscate that they are dumb fucks whose very existence is antithetical to knowledge, curiosity, and they are just against all of this. Notice he attacked higher learning. He attacked the highest institution of law we have in this country. Ben Shapiro loves to do that. It's true. Charlie Kirk will also do this to try and prove his superiority over like colleges, since he never went. It's bizarre. It doesn't really do very well hiding the fascism, if that was the goal. Well, the goal was to make it sound like compelling legalese to like a MAGA base, when in fact it's fascist. You know, a lot of people in the MAGA movement do not recognize themselves as fascist, despite the fact that they uphold many fascist values. You know? They depend on that thin veneer of like patriotism to like deflect from the recognition that they are fascists. That like it's to prevent people from having that "are we the baddies" moment, you know? That was the legal equivalent of a crying baby. Oh, absolutely. The louder these people cry, the better for us. Also, again, need to really reiterate here. Here's Laura Loomer. In most countries, when you cross into the country illegally, you're shot to death on sight. Trump is gracious. Democrats should be happy he's deporting the illegals on planes. There's always alternatives. Just look at how trespassers are treated on other foreign borders. And just really have to reiterate, no, most countries don't just shoot you point blank if you are caught crossing into the country illegally. That's actually not what most countries do, but it's very telling that this is where Laura Loomer wants to take things. Again, when we call these people Hitlerites, we mean it. These people want to have, death camps. It's not an exaggeration. People like Laura Loomer, the craziest of the bunch, want to have camps where they burn people alive. They just want to make sure it's the right people who are being burned alive, Which countries have done this, Laura? Yeah. Like maybe North Korea? Other than North Korea, I genuinely can't think of any others where they just summarily shoot you for crossing the border. This isn't the first time she's advocated for the death of people. No, because she's fucking crazy, Absolutely nuts. That being said, folks, that's kind of where things are with the Supreme Court. And I think it's all worth laying out there because it's not just the ruling that was good. It was the timing. Because, guys, the Supreme Court's old. They issued this ruling at 1 o'clock in the morning. That indicates they are aware of some need for urgency. It indicates that they are aware that this is a time of expedited movements. It indicates they are aware that the Trump administration is trying to get around them by acting faster than they can. And so they were proactive. One of the very few things that the Supreme Court usually isn't. They were proactive and they got involved before these people could be deported. So, that's where we're at. And with that, I'm hitting the segment button. We did it. We did a segment on a Saturday segment. They were probably about to be deported at 2 or 3 a.m. There's a decent chance that was the case. Van Briggs. I can't remember in my living memory the Supreme Court yoinking something up from a lower court. Me neither. Me neither. Folks, we've been going for about an hour now. If you've been enjoying the show, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Consider dropping those subs, donos, memberships, super chats, etc. And let's see. Alito and Thomas are the worst? Absolutely. How to not internalize the transphobia. Can't survive in all this. Not just news, but also literally trans people, transphobic ASL. Can you be more specific? What does ASL stand for in this particular context? Ba-da-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, as fuck? Yeah. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Darn, I'm not able to redirect to Dead Domain's YouTube stream. However, I will post a link to Dead Domain's YouTube stream. Jesus, screen. Fuck, I'm tired. Ismail Gunkar, who are you talking to? Like, it's like I miss 40% of what you say. Like, you posted without any kind of context. It's just a question. It's just a question. And like, I don't know what that means. Be more specific. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Let's see here. YouTube.com. Dead domain. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Be some other.
Okay. Cool. Get more jacked? Ugh. Gotta make sure my skirt doesn't ride up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, what's just a question for the Supreme Court? Whew. If you haven't seen in the administration, it's querying science journals on political reliability. Yeah, I have to trust to some degree that the academic establishment will be able to persevere and preserve a lot of records through this time. Oh, what's the question they're deliberating on? They were weighing in on whether it should be allowed to, whether the government should be allowed to send people who haven't had a court date or a trial to a concentration camp on foreign soil in El Salvador. So that is what they weighed in on, and they said, no, you aren't allowed to deport these people like that. I've heard talks of Trump being potentially held in civil contempt. I mean, I don't know that Trump himself is going to be held in civil contempt. That would be, I will say, that would be funny as fuck. But yeah. Oh, as hell. Gotcha. Trans people can be transphobic as hell. Case in point, Brianna Wu. Nasty piece of work. This whole chapter would end super fittingly if Trump gets sent to CCOT somehow. No, it would end fittingly with him standing trial in The Hague in a Nuremberg-like spectacle. Sebastian Gorka being insane as usual. Ugh, Gorka. I can't stand that guy. Can I show you guys one of my favorite things? Just as a last thing, maybe before we head out for the day to our charity stream. Where is it? Here it is. Check this out.
So Las Vegas Police Department just added 10 Cybertrucks to their fleet, but I think the story is actually much bigger. When the community found out about this, people were outraged because Cybertrucks are ridiculously expensive and they're not particularly good vehicles, especially for police. When the sheriff announced the Cybertrucks, he was quick to point out that they didn't buy them, but they were donated anonymously. Now, aside from the very obvious parallels that having militarized police forces in vehicles that look like Cybertrucks is very bad for the community, a lot of people thought that it was Elon Musk who donated the Cybertrucks to the police, that it wasn't. Billionaires are funding the police. And before you say, oh, it's just a donation, if the donation is used for police operations like the flock cameras or the Cybertrucks, that money is used for policing in the community. It's not but certainly with Flock and with now the Cybertruck, which is a vehicle capable of autonomous driving, they're getting data. But more than the data is the control they get and the influence they have on the policing system.
Look, I understand that there's like a conspiratorial angle here of like, oh, billionaires making friends with the police, yada yada yada, but like, you know what? For one, I support giving as many police departments and police officers Cybertrucks as possible. Okay, I support this. I think every Elon-loving cop should maybe, be given a Cybertruck. I think that that would be good, actually. I think that maybe, it's not like the end of the world if they get a bunch of them. Just get a ton. I don't want average citizens having them. They're far too advanced for your average citizen. In fact, every person in the Trump administration who supports this administration should get a Cybertruck. I highly encourage every single person who loves Donald Trump, who loves Elon Musk, to get a Cybertruck. It's actually a very cool car. Okay? Ignore obvious lies in reporting like this. Every single person in this administration should drive in a Cybertruck every day because it's just the way to get places in style and with safety. Again, ignore this headline, with safety. All right? And that's just because, as we all know, I'm very concerned with the safety of the cars. Elon Musk showed how safe these cars are. Just real quick. Just like, I think it's really important, actually. I mean, look at how safe this is, guys.
Not bad. Franz, could you try to break this glass, please?
Armor glass. It's so strong. This will keep anyone safe.
Yeah. Sure? Yeah. Oh my God. Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
That was a fluke. I'm sure all of them are very safe. I'm sure all of the Cybertrucks are very safe and very durable. Don't believe what you just saw or any reporting on it. They're the safest cars out there. Every Trump supporter should have one. So it wasn't supposed to do that? No, but that was a fluke. That was a fluke. That was a fluke. I've heard it will keep people inside very warm under many circumstances, you know, and one of the number one killers in America is the cold. So that's another plus for the Cybertruck. Overall, I don't see any downsides here. It's just a quality vehicle. Oh, see, exactly. Gord guys in Twitch chat has the insider scoop. Actually, Mother Jones's fake news. Cybertrucks are 17 times safer than the Ford Pinto. And I for, you know, obviously I'm not going to look into it at all. That must be true. They're not 17 times more dangerous or more prone to exploding and being on fire than a Ford Pinto. They're 17 times safer. Safer. Also, Jordan L., thank you for being a member. Let's go! That's just science, I'm convinced. A chicken for every pot and a Cybertruck for every cop, indeed. You guys understand the vision for Trump's America. Yeah, please do not use racial slurs in my chat. Just like don't do it. I'm gonna just do a temp ban on the like a temporary timeout on the off chance that you just didn't know that the word you used was a racial slur or ethnic slur. Don't do that. Don't do that. The shortened version of someone from Pakistan is don't do that. I am one? Yeah, don't do it. I don't give a shit. Yeah, I know you're telling me. This is my chat. I'm telling you, don't use racial slurs. You can use it on your own. Yeah, like I'm not your mom outside of stream. But you don't get to say that here. The same way, like, if somebody comes into my chat and claims that they're black, I don't just let them say the N-word. Like, for obvious reasons. No one gets a pass to use racial or ethnic slurs here. Jesus. It really isn't that hard to just not be banned from my chat. Like, I don't ask a lot. Let's see, how to stay sane when trans people want other trans people to perform gender to the way they want. More often than not, in a performative yes and slay way, only believe that cis people voyeuristically support trans people and feels that the only way to exist is to live as a constant protest for yourself. Is this about something in particular? Like, is there like discourse that I'm unaware of related to like trans people and like performativity when it comes to gender? What I was saying earlier is trans people are transphobic as hell. The visibly trans line is ridiculous. Doesn't make sense at all. Trans masks want trans femmes to yas and slay, or they are not only not trans, but also can't be associated with. Again, I feel like I'm just out of the loop with some kind of like drama in the trans community that I'm not familiar with. Isn't that just a long way to say you're only trans if you pass or you have to pass? Yeah, and that's bullshit. The only thing you have to do as a trans person is to get to a point where you like are comfortable with yourself. You are the only one who needs to be pleased by your transition. And anyone saying otherwise is just kind of deeply, deeply weird and insecure. To be fair, Knifey is stuck. It was just that one guy. You are the arbiter of your journey. Anyone else? Yeah, if anyone else is trying to usurp your journey, like, they aren't worth your time. They aren't worth your attention, and they aren't they're certainly not worth your angst. You know, like, there are better things to think about and spend time on. There have been a lot of that one guy this week. That's true, Knifey is stuck. Hell yeah, Spitfire. Okay. Watching Dead Domain on PC and you on phone? Well, we'll soon be just on the Dead Domain stream. Shall I put Dead Domain stream on the site host once we're done? Absolutely. Are they all the same guy? No, just like my stream's been getting a bit bigger and kind of bumping up on like that more mainstream viewership. And we've been bumping. We've been getting up there. You know, I'm up to like 115, 110, 120,000 views per month now. Which is pretty good. But we're still going on up. But the main thing is, like, sometimes people find their way in here and they just don't understand you can't use, like, it. We're in a public forum. I'm not gonna let you guys just use racial slurs. Like, this is to an extent my house and a reflection of like what I think is important. And I think it's pretty important for us to build a community here that does not use racial slurs to otherize each other. Like, I don't think that's like a huge ask. Oh, I know it wasn't a serious question, but sometimes answering those helps to elucidate in other ways. I thought you were going on Dead Domain stream. I am. But then people asked a question. I got sidetracked. All right. Hello, Velvet. I was here before it was cool, and it was always cool. True. Oh, we can't use slurs? You mean you're making a hug box? Indeed. It's the same as mine, jail. Indeed. Let's see here. Especially since passing spits in the face of non-binary peeps. Absolutely. Again, it's not my place to say what other people's gender should be or how they should present it and practice it. I think that's actually one of the great things about being a person, you know? Like, just the wild chaos of it. The joyful, chaotic abandon of personhood. Can't gaslight myself into feeling sane when everyone else acts like I'm a tweaker and a liar. I've been discriminated heavy at work by trans coworkers. HR and manager tried joining trans groups. They act the same and it's crazy. Tried joining Unitarians, was crazy. I don't know why, but other trans people act like they want you to have your whole performance locked in a specific way. I'm in a blue state too. I wear the same thing to work every day and people act crazy. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, but like, it's really fucking rough out there, but you know yourself better than anyone else knows you. And don't let other people determine who you are. I know that sounds trite, but like that is the bare bones of it. But also worth noting, trans people can indeed be shitty. You know, we are not special creatures immune from being shitty people. And I'm sorry you seem to have found a lot of shitty people. Headed to Dead Domains. When will you be on? Oh, we're getting ready to raid over there right now. I'm going to raid Twitch chat over there, and then we'll follow along with YouTube chat. I've just got to shuffle you guys over there. Because Dead Domain doesn't have YouTube redirect on. All right. Sending you over there. Right now, folks. Get on in, get on in. Get in the raid wagon, everybody. Will the stream be live again afterwards? Probably not. I probably won't be live again until Monday. Also, just a reminder before you all go, the Imogene Olivia underwear is launching in June. And it's cute as fuck. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that lace is beautiful. Y'all have a good time over in Dead Domain, and I will shortly be on there as well. See you, folks. Again, ImogeneOlivia.com. Go check it out. Bye. Yeah, how do raids work in YouTube? The raids in YouTube, you have to like go in and allow other people to redirect into you. I don't know where the setting is, but here is the link for Dead Domain stream. There you go. You can come watch over on riverboat.gg or watch in YouTube. Pick your poison. Yeah, I'm going to stay and watch these viewer numbers go down. So you guys, I see how many people are watching right now. You guys start clicking that link. Start making that number go down. Okay? The entire goal is getting people over to that stream. That is the entire reason I went live today and even talked about politics at all. Okay? Go, go, go. Click the button. Only 10 of you have clicked the button so far. More of you, click that button. Here, if I have to be less interesting, there we go. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. 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 More of you need to click the button. There's still 80 of you here. God damn it. Click the goddamn link I posted in chat. You fools. You simpletons. Click that. Click it. Go over to Dead Domain stream. Do it now. Do it now. You simpletons. You fools. You buffoons. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. 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 Do it. Do it. Do it. Come on. Can't do it? Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Yeah, you can be in both. I'm not going to be doing anything here other than telling you to click the goddamn button. I want that number to at least go down to 50. I wanted like 100 of you over there. Okay, that's the goal. I wanted to bring like 100 of you with me. Button. Click the goddamn button. Button. Click the goddamn button. Button. Click the goddamn button. Seems to be another thing. It is another thing. The button is another stream. It's a charity stream I'm gonna be on. Ah! Yeah, bring the riverboat energy with you. Come on, get that BWA over there. Get your asses in gear. Hello, Mary Calder. Click this link. I'm posting in chat. We're going over to a charity stream. We need the remix of this. I think Jazz Dog is on it, folks. All right. I will see you all on Monday or in the Dead Domain chat. Bye.